She checked her bank account at 11:47 p.m. and just stared. The number didn't make sense. She hadn't bought anything big, nothing expensive, just small things. Coffee here, a sale there, a subscription she forgot about, one late-night purchase she barely remembered making. And somehow, 3 weeks into the month, it was almost gone. The phone buzzed. Another notification, another deal, another reason to tap, scroll, confirm. The ads knew her name. They knew what she wanted before she did. And every time she unlocked her screen, something left her wallet. She sat at the kitchen table, fluorescent light above, receipts scattered in front of her, and she thought about something her grandmother once said. We didn't need a phone to know we were broke. We could feel it. Back then, in the 1980s, there were no apps, no one-click checkout, no algorithm deciding what you needed next. If you wanted something, you drove to a store, you touched it, you looked at the price tag, and then you thought about it. You walked away, you came back, or you didn't. Buying something took effort, and that effort, that small friction, changed everything. She made a decision that night that most people today would call extreme. She would live like it was 1985 for 30 days. No internet shopping, no delivery apps, no digital anything that could make spending easier. But what happened next, no one living online today was prepared for. Her real story didn't start with money. It started the moment she disconnected.
Her name was Maya. She was 31, living in a one-bedroom apartment in a city that never stopped selling her things. Every morning, the routine was the same. Phone first, before coffee, before sunlight. Notifications from 5 different apps waiting. A flash sale ending in 2 hours. A limited time offer. You left this in your cart reminder, as if the cart had feelings. She scrolled with one hand and poured coffee with the other. By 8 a.m., she had already opened 4 shopping apps. She hadn't bought anything yet, but the damage was done. The mood was set. The want was already planted. At lunch, she browsed, not because she needed anything, because it filled the silence, because the break room felt awkward, because looking at things felt like doing something, even when it wasn't. By evening, she was tired, and tired Maya was dangerous. Tired Maya bought a skincare set she didn't need, a book she'd never read, and a kitchen gadget still in the box from the last time she was tired. The credit card statement arrived that Friday. She didn't open it right away. She already knew it was bad. She sat with it for a long time. The numbers weren't from one big mistake. They were from 100 small ones. $1 here, $12 there, things that felt like nothing at the time. And that's when she asked herself, seriously for the first time, what if the phone was the problem? Not her willpower, not her income, not her discipline. The phone. But could removing the internet really change anything?
She started on a Monday. Simple rules. No online shopping, no delivery apps, no digital purchases of any kind. If she needed something, she had to go get it herself, the old way. Monday morning was fine. She felt ready, almost proud of herself. By Monday afternoon, the silence was strange. She reached for her phone during a commercial break. Habit, pure reflex. She put it back down. Reached for it again 20 minutes later. Put it back. The apartment felt louder somehow, even though it was quieter. The ticking of the kitchen clock, the sound of the refrigerator humming, sounds she'd never noticed before because there was always something in her ears, a podcast, a video, a notification pulling her somewhere else. Tuesday was harder.
She sat on the couch after dinner with nothing to scroll through. Just the couch. Just the room. Her thoughts moved slowly at first, then started to rush. She made a list of things she needed. A new charger, a better pillow, a rain jacket maybe. She wrote them down on a piece of paper and left them there. Wednesday morning, she looked at the list. The charger, sure. The pillow, she'd had the same one for 2 years. The rain jacket? It was late spring. 2 out of 3 things gone, just from waiting. But the discomfort was real. The boredom was real. It felt wrong in a way she couldn't quite name. The silence felt wrong. But something was shifting.
Thursday was grocery day. No app, no delivery, no tapping a button and waiting for someone to bring her food. She had to go, herself, to an actual store. She made a list the way her mother used to, on paper by category: produce, protein, pantry. She stood in the kitchen and actually looked at what she had before writing what she needed. It took 20 minutes. She hadn't done that in years. At the store, everything was different, slower. The fluorescent lights were a little harsh. The cereal aisle was overwhelming. She stood in front of 2 pasta sauces for a full 90 seconds comparing them. One was $4.29, one was $5.79, same size. The cheaper one was actually made by the same brand. She recognized the ingredient list. She grabbed the cheaper one. At the checkout, she paid attention in a way she never did when ordering online. Each item scanned, each number climbing. She watched it. She felt it. She put one thing back, a fancy sparkling water she'd grabbed without thinking. She walked out with 2 bags, spent $47. Her usual weekly grocery order through the app ran about $80 to $90, plus tip, plus fees. Her daughter called while she was walking to the car. "Did you actually go to the store, Mom?" Her daughter was 12 and found this hilarious. Maya laughed too, but quietly, to herself. She was doing the math. But groceries weren't the real problem. By the end of week 1, something unexpected happened. She started to see patterns, not in her budget, in herself. She noticed she spent the most on weekday evenings between 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. She noticed she bought more when she was stressed at work. She noticed she browsed longest on the nights she felt the most alone. None of this was news exactly, but seeing it clearly, feeling it without a screen to blur the edges, that was different. The notifications were doing something she hadn't realized. Every buzz, every alert, every little red badge on an app icon was creating a small spike of anxiety. And buying something, anything, made that spike go away for a few minutes. She wasn't shopping for things, she was shopping for relief. That was the week she started writing in a notebook. Not a journal exactly, just observations. 8:45 p.m. Wanted to order something. Stressed about the meeting tomorrow. Made tea instead. Feeling okay. Small things. Honest things. She started replacing the late-night scroll with other rituals. A walk around the block, a crossword from an old book she found at the back of her shelf, reading with an actual lamp on, not a screen glowing in the dark. The urge to buy didn't disappear, but she could see it coming now. She could name it, and naming it made it smaller. But mid-month would test everything.
It happened on a Wednesday. Her car made a sound, a grinding, reluctant, please don't ignore this sound. She pulled into a parking lot and sat for a moment, hands on the wheel. The mechanic said brakes, rotors, a bill she hadn't budgeted for. Not catastrophic, but enough to blow a significant hole in what she had left. She sat in the waiting room. Plastic chairs, a TV in the corner showing the news, an old magazine on the table. She picked it up. It was from 2019. She read it anyway. Her mind started calculating. If she paid the mechanic bill, she had about $140 left for the rest of the month. 11 days. She'd planned to buy new running shoes this month. She'd been looking at them for weeks. She thought about it. She almost opened her laptop, almost told herself that the rules didn't apply to emergency situations, that she deserved a break after an unexpected expense. But she thought about the notebook, about the patterns, about what needing something actually looked like versus what wanting something looked like. The shoes could wait. They'd waited this long. She paid the mechanic, drove home, ate pasta for dinner, the cheap kind, from the store, With the sauce, she'd compare it for 90 seconds. It wasn't glamorous, but it was hers. She almost broke the rule.
Something changed after the mechanic visit. Not dramatically, not with a big moment or an epiphany in the mirror. It was quieter than that. She started writing lists for everything. Not because she was told to, because it worked. A grocery list. A list of things she thought she needed. A list of things she'd wanted to buy this month and hadn't. That last list was the most interesting. 6 things. 6 things she had felt at different moments she absolutely had to have. And with one exception, a birthday gift she genuinely needed, none of them would have improved her life. Not really. They would have sat on a shelf or in a drawer, just like the kitchen gadget from the tired Tuesday night 2 months ago. She started delaying everything by 72 hours. If she thought she needed something, she wrote it down, waited 3 days, then looked again. Most things lost their urgency fast. Without the notification pushing her, without the "only 3 left in stock" banner, the feeling of need softened. She replaced Saturday morning browsing with a walk to a small farmer's market 3 blocks away. She hadn't known it existed. She started buying eggs there, and a loaf of bread that cost more per loaf but lasted longer and tasted better, and made her feel like a person who made actual choices. The habits were shifting, but something inside resisted.
Week 3 was the hardest. Not financially, emotionally. A friend texted a photo from a group shopping trip Maya hadn't been invited to. Or maybe she had and declined, she couldn't remember. The group chat was full of pictures, new bags, matching outfits, someone's new apartment decor. She looked at her own living room. Nothing new, nothing bought. It felt like missing something, like standing outside a warm window. She thought about logging back on, just for one day, just to browse, just to feel part of something. Her finger hovered over the app for a long moment. She put the phone down, picked up the notebook instead. She wrote, "I want to shop right now, not because I need anything, because I feel left out. And I know that buying something won't fix that, but I still want to." Honest, a little painful, but honest. She called her mother that night, an actual phone call, voice only, old school. They talked for an hour, about nothing in particular. Her mother mentioned she used to save change in a glass jar every week in the 80s, said it felt good to see it build up, physically, piece by piece. Maya looked around her apartment. She thought about what she had, not what she was missing. It didn't fix everything, but it helped. Only 7 days left.
She went into the final week with a plan. $140, 11 days. She wrote it at the top of a piece of paper and put it on the kitchen counter. Visible, specific, real. She mapped out every dollar. Groceries, gas, a small amount set aside for the unexpected because the car had taught her something. She cooked at home every single night. Not elaborate meals, simple ones. Eggs, rice, roasted vegetables she got on sale. She started to understand why her grandmother had called cooking the cheapest form of creativity. She counted cash for the first time in years, actual physical bills. There is something different about handing over a 20 and watching the change come back. Something that a card tap doesn't replicate. The weight of it, the finality.
She made a small game of it. How far could she stretch what she had without feeling deprived? She found a library she hadn't visited since college, took out 3 books, sat with a cup of tea on a Sunday afternoon, and read for 2 hours in complete, comfortable silence. She wasn't suffering. She was, in some small way she couldn't fully articulate yet, at peace. The last 3 days, she barely thought about shopping at all. Not because she had conquered something, but because the space in her mind that used to hold all that noise was being used for other things. Would it be enough? The month ended on a Sunday. She sat at the kitchen table, same spot as the beginning, same fluorescent light, and added everything up. She had spent $612 that month. Her average over the previous 6 months was $1,190.
She had saved, without a savings plan, without an app, without a challenge posted online for accountability, $578 in 1 month, on the same income, in the same apartment, doing the same job. She sat with that number for a while. It didn't feel like magic. It didn't feel like a trick. It felt like subtraction, like something had been removed, and underneath it was just money, hers, still there. She hadn't become a different person. She hadn't found discipline she didn't have before. She hadn't read a book about budgeting or listened to a finance podcast. She had simply removed the environment that made spending easy, and in its place, she found friction. And friction, the small, annoying, powerful friction of having to actually try to buy something, had changed everything. The debt she'd been carrying for 14 months, she paid off a significant portion in one payment, her first real payment, not the minimum, a real number that actually moved the balance. She looked at the notebook on the table, the lists, the observations, the late-night entry about feeling left out. Nothing magical changed. The noise just disappeared.
Here's what this has to do with you. Right now, today, in 2026, your phone is not neutral. It was designed by some of the smartest people on the planet to make spending feel effortless, to eliminate every moment of pause, every breath of friction, every second of doubt that might make you put something back. One click, same day, buy now, pay later. The checkout screen is engineered to be invisible, and an invisible checkout is a dangerous one. Maya didn't have more willpower than you. She wasn't more disciplined. She wasn't more organized. She just changed her environment, and the environment changed her behavior. That's the real lesson of the 1980s, not nostalgia, not going backward. It's that friction protects you. The effort of buying something in 1985 meant you thought about it first. You had to. There was no other option. You can recreate that friction right now, today. Delete the shopping apps, remove your saved card from your browser, turn off purchase notifications, make buying something take 3 steps instead of 1. You don't need to live in 1985, you just need a little of its inconvenience. Because the version of you that pauses before spending, that version saves more, stresses less, and builds something real over time. Not because they're special, because their environment made it easier to stop than to buy. The phone in your hand is a spending trigger. That's not an opinion. It's a design decision made by people who profit when you don't pause. You get to make a different decision. Comment 1985 if you try this.